Hi guys, it's Andy, the expedition hiker, and I'm back after my few weeks off, after my poorly back, which hasn't recovered totally just yet, but I'm slowly getting back into it. And this is the first walk for a good few weeks, since probably about Christmas. So I'm happy to be out, happy to be walking. Funny enough, my back's not the thing that's hurting, it's my knees at the moment, but hey, that's a different story. But we're back, and today we are on a reconnaissance mission. It's on in my green. Got my combat jacket at my back. We're reconnaissance. Well, actually we're on a recce. So I'm taking up some students in this direction in the next few weeks. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take them across the landscape from here. So today I'm on a recce, checking out what's along the way, and actually it's quite a lot. I thought it was going to be quite a boring walk. You just see me walking a bit and that's it. But we're at a place called Drum Hill that's got its own story, which I'll tell you about in a moment. On top of that, we're going to go to a old priory, an old hall, which was a hospital that dates back to about the 11th, 12th century. Then we're heading over to an abbey, which is near there's a cave. And then beyond that, we're heading over to an old hall. So a few buildings of interest along the way, and the footpaths along the way. The only negative part, as you may have heard a little bit of wind, is I forgot to bring the microphone. So we're off playing it off the camera today. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad. I'm going to try and find as much shelter as possible, and it might be some narrative commentary, which I usually do anyway. So with that, we're going to start walking. So I'm happy I'm back. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. So let's get on this walk. You don't see these very often.
It's part of a buried water pipeline. The domes are generally painted green and is the cover for the access shaft, which leads to a pressure release valve for the pipeline below.
So today we're starting at a campsite, a scout campsite, and it's actually quite a large campsite called Drum Hill. Now there is a story that goes with Drum Hill, which I think I'll tell my students at a later point, because I don't want to scare them too much. Bit of a horror story really. How the story goes: there was a drummer boy, and he came here to do bits of drumming obviously, but as the drummer boy was here, he came here to play the drums for either a military or a royal occasion, nobody really knows, and he missed the beat of the drum, and for that somebody or other pushed him off a cliff. He lost his head falling down this cliff. And now the story goes now is that at night time you hear a drummer playing solo, and if he catches you, the drummer boy, he will take your head for his. Well, as I say, best not tell my students that when they come up here camping. Anyway, let's get walking. So today we are in Derbyshire. As I mentioned, we're starting at Drum Hill Scout Campsite, which is near Little Eaton. So we're going to head down to Beardsall Priory, and then from there we're going to Loco Hall, which used to be a hospital for certain ill people. From there we're going to head over towards Dale Abbey, and then we'll may pass the Hermits Cave. We'll head up to Hotwell Hall, which used to be a special school, and then from there we'll head down to a place called Risley, which has a Risley Hall and an old Latin school. It's about 9 miles today. Follow me along and we'll get on this route. Like none of them want to go straight. First one hits it over the wall on the left hand side. Second one's hit it to the right. Just all the gear, no idea. Anyway, we're going to keep walking. Unfortunately, this hedgerow on my right hand side is cutting the wind away, and the hotel is the Marriott, part of the Marriott hotel chain. So the building we see in front at the moment, built around the 1600s. On the site, or part of the site, there still is the remains, the old priory. Funny how whenever you go to a building, it's always got scaffolding on. I did a world tour. It ended up being a world tour scaffolding years ago when I left the army. Went to St Mark's Square, that was covered in scaffolding. Part of the Colosseum was covered in scaffolding. Also the Vatican. And then where did I go? Somewhere else that had scaffolding all over the main building. I think they were doing it on purpose. So this is the front view of the Priory. As I said before, it is a hotel now, part of the Marriott group. I'll have a quick glimpse around the grounds before I get kicked off, because I'm probably not meant to be here. I'll tell you a little bit about the history. The oldest Marriott hotel in the world.
The Priory was established in 1266, built on the grounds owned by the Curzon family, and was home to Augustan canons. It continued as a priory until the dissolutions in 1536. The priory was then demolished, where the Duke of Norfolk, father of Lady Jane Grey, was given the estate. By 1795, Sir John Bentley built a private home of Elizabethan E-plan style on the site of the priory, and kept the name as Beardsall Priory. The poet Erasmus Darwin, grandfather of the English naturalist, geologist and biologist Charles Darwin, moved to Beardsall shortly before his death in 1802. Edward Levitt Darwin, cousin to Charles Darwin, wrote the Gamekeeper's Manual, learning about natural history from the Priory estate. In 1988, the property was purchased by Country Clubs Hotels, part of Whitbreads plc, and then in 1996, the site was rebranded as the Marriott Beardsall Hotel and Country Club, which it keeps its name today.
Somebody's slightly off. I believe this is a croquet lawn, not a golf course, because there's no holes, it's just little flags. But there's a golf ball there. The actual golf course, nearest hole, is beyond these trees. That's my type of golf. I hit it miles away from the actual course. I only play one hole when I go play. Just spends all day trying to find the ball afterwards. For a quite posh hotel, and the oldest one in the Marriott group, it's got a very small helipad. Beardsall Priory. Now we're going to head over to Loco Hall and Park. They're in some ornate, interesting gates. Priory Chase. And if you look up towards the Chase, bloody hell, look at the size of that Buddha out the front. He's huge, taller than me. These are the Morley Almshouses. Walk up and see if we don't get stopped by the owners. What I do for YouTube. Sacavell. The family built these almshouses. The old chapel. Anyway, we're going to head down this path. I'm going to pick up on a footpath in a moment. And that's going to get us towards another thing on the route that I forgot about earlier, called the Mound. And that's to do with the Romans. Crikey, look at the size of that bloody hole. What's it gets in there? A lion? It's probably a foot wide. Probably a badger, I would say. Badger set, maybe. Although that means there'll be multiple entrances for badgers usually. There's a mound up there, so probably there as well. Anyway, continue on this track. We're heading up to the mound and the main road. Now I did say if it's a badger, they'll have multiple holes. There's another one there, and there's another one just there as well. Could be something else, but Yeah, it looks about the size of a badger set holes. So here we have the mound. Oh, what a lovely mound it is. But actually, the mound dates back to the Romans. In fact, it was meant to be a lookout post, as there was a Roman road just down there, near that tree line in front. So that's the mound. Anyway, let's head down this way and see what we can find next.
Man down! Man down!
If the Romans were still on their mound, they would have had a laugh seeing me fall then, wouldn't they? Oh well, let's keep going. I'm going to do a bloopers reel of me falling over at the end of this year, I think. And probably for about 20 minutes of falls at this rate. You'll need a haircut. Oh, look at it, ready for spring. Get that ear off. Hello ladies, how are you all? Oh, can I get by? Sorry. Well folks, we're glad to be back out and walking, or falling. Seem to be doing that as well. But once you start doing it off mountains, then there's no stopping me falling in places. Anyway, I hope we're not going to keep doing it. I might get views just by people, how many times I fall on a walk. People prepared to watch how long it'll be before I fall over. Oh, that's an interesting one. I still like trying to work out where they were actually. There's all these little bits of orange. You can see it's old, rotted away. It's a pumpkin field. So a couple of pumpkin fields. Obviously, October time is the time to come here. I see pumpkins galore. There's one there that's rotting away. Now, although it's a dismantled railway, and as you can see there's not much going off down there anymore. No railway tracks, just seems to be a stream running through it. But actually, it was part of the Great Northern Railway Company. So a classic example of a farmer not abiding by the countryside code and public footpaths. So actually this is a public footpath here, and you can see that's all chained up, and the footpath continues that way. So obviously that's a point of contact and local authorities, telling them that we lost the right of way. With a locked gate means you have to climb over it. That's not the right way. But this is a public footpath. It's a track as well, so we will continue this way, and we're heading down towards Lockup Hall now. So this is King's Corner. I don't know what the reference to it is for, and I'm trying to work out where the corner is. I would say it's actually there, corner of that field. Anyway, let's head over to the lodge. Well, we've got to take an alternative route. As you can see straight in front of us, it says no public right of way. So there is a footpath going that way, so we will head that way. A little bit of road walking and a little bit of an extension, but we can't go that way to Lockup Hall. Now along the way there's a load of boundary stones, so I believe this is one of them. There's a whole host of them along this way here, so I'm guessing that's one of them. There's quite a few signs to say on nearly off every pillar saying that this is the way to go, so they don't want anybody going venturing off in different directions. Well, the stars around here are not looking too good. Now, I was looking for another boundary stone, and I I just saw in the woodlands, just that one there. So it looks like it's been carved, so I presume that's classed as a proper boundary stone. So this is the perimeter wall to Loco Hall. Usual trig points, because one on top of a scout camp, there's meant to be one just here. Oh, there it is, hidden in the hedgerow. So, the usual custom, touch the trig through the Forney hedgerow. Well, touched it anyway. Right, we arrived at Loco Park Private. There's also a public footpath this way. So we can go this way by foot. And that's what we're going to do, by foot. Our first look at Loco Hall. I'm hoping we can get a better look than that. It does look quite a big building from here. Well, I'm directly below some mistletoe, but like usual, got no one to kiss. It's Lonely Hearts Club. Now the good bit is that actually when I did my little fall earlier, actually you stopped laughing in the background, you little duck. Sorry, where was I? As I said, when I had my little fall earlier, my back was starting to ache at that time and I fell. Now my back doesn't hurt, so some sort of message there. When my back's feeling sore, to fall over.
In 1086, the land was seen to be owned by Saxon Court Story. Following the Norman conquest, 210 manors were awarded to Baron Henry de Ferris by William the Conqueror for his bravery and support during the Battle of Hastings. By 1180, William de Ferris gave the land to the Burton Lazarus of Leicestershire, an order of St. Lazarus monks dedicated to the care and nursing of lepers. The monks founded a leper hospital on the Loco estate, as the name Loco derives from the hospital, coming from the old French words loques, meaning rags. Much of the local area, including the hospital, was demolished after the Great Fire of Spondon in 1340. The hall was built in 1720 by Francis Smith of Warwick. By 1747, John Lowe purchased the estate and the park stayed with the Lowes until 1790, when a relation named William Jury took over the property and took the name of Jury Lowe. Today the park and hall is still owned by descendants of the Jury Lowe family.
Okay, a little bit closer look, although it's looking a bit dull. Although it's a bit of a dull building to look at. It's in dark stone, dark ashlar stone I would have thought. And all the ducks are coming here now. Now they did all fly in towards me. I didn't catch it on camera, but it was a bit of a sight. Although I did think they were actually coming to kamikaze eat me. I think they're waiting for some bread. And unfortunately, I ain't got any food for myself, never mind you lot. I forgot to pack a lunch. So I believe the actual Lepers Hospital was to the left of the building, so like left of that big tree in front of us. Privately owned. And anyway, we're heading this way now. We're going to head up this track and that'll take us towards Dale Abbey, which is probably about a mile and a half, 2 miles away. Or in new money, about 3 to 4 kilometres. Back on the horse, as I was still walking. Well, when I say back on the horse, not really. I mean, I wasn't very good at riding horses, even though I was in Royal Horse Artillery. But when I mean back on the horse, we're back walking. Well, I haven't been able to walk due to my back. I've been coming up with a few ideas of where I can walk. There's a couple of, long distance footpaths I've been looking into. There's also some wild camps I'm thinking about doing soon. So once I'm fully fit, ready to go, although I say fully fit, I'm not sure if I'll ever be as fully fit as I was in the army, but as fit as a 53-year-old man would be, get back out there doing it again. Which I'm hoping is only going to be in the next 2-3 weeks, so I can start getting out again. I've got some gear that I purchased around Christmas time that I want to try out. That's really an opportunity, really. Putting out a few reviews on them as well. So watch this space. So we're just leaving the Loco Park estate, and you can see by the footpath there, so that's to Stanley, which is maybe the way I should go, as Andy Stanley. But not today. We're going that way towards Dale Abbey. Well, we've reached the village of Dale Abbey. So there's the village. They build a bigger building in the middle. It looks a bit greenish. That's the Carpenter's Arms. They used to do cockfighting in there. Don't think so anymore. And then here we've got the church. It's actually believed to be one of the smallest churches in England. I think actually the whole church measures 26 foot, if I'm right. Just beyond it is the archway to the old Dale Abbey. We might get a better look at it up there. I'll show you in a minute. Now the path I'm walking on at the moment is an old monk's path. So the monks and the canons. And they were walking from Dale Abbey to Beardsall Priory. They would have walked along this path. So we're coming down to All Saints Church. And it's also, in the past, it's been a pub. There's also been a hospital. Now you can just see in front of that, just where you can see that white building directly in front, there's an old archway. And that's the archway, the only remains of Dale Abbey. And Dale Abbey itself is in the little village. There's actually quite a few churches here. There's a little Methodist, and across the road from that there's another little church. There's this one of All Saints, and then there's Dale Abbey itself. So quite a religious location. I've got a couple of horses come to say hello. A big horse and a little horse. Funny enough, every time I walk down this path, they'll come out to say hello. Got the winter kilts on this time. Now this time, we're heading up this path. They're trying to struggle to get down. But they're not exactly kitted out well. Should we see them fall, or should we just leave that to me falling? So this little bit of woodland here is called the Hermitage. Beyond those trees down there, there's a cave, the Hermits Cave. Now, it's meant to be an old hermit. He was a baker from Derby, and he decided to come here. And whenever people came by, or travellers, weary travellers that were travelling across the land, he would give whatever he could for those people that were travelling, that were less fortunate than himself. He actually came from quite a wealthy bakers, so it's a bit of a change from there. And actually, the story goes how the baker was similar to a story of another hermit that dated back to the Romans. Now let me butcher his name. I think it's called Cornelius. He had a similar story. I think he was like a wealthy man that came from a noble family and decided to give it all away. Now, there's also a story about a highwayman and his gang all came here. They stayed at the Hermitage at the night time, at the cave. Now presumably the baker would have died by then. And the highwayman, the leader of the pack, he basically had a vision at the night time. An angel came down and told him to repent and go the Christian way. Anyway, he woke up in the morning and told his mates, his other highwaymen, and they said to him, "Oh yes, you're a silly bloke," or words to that effect. Anyway, he decided to become the next hermit. He continued the job of the hermit and looked after weary travellers. The rest of the gang rode off into the sunset. Just on that hilltop there, you might just about get it, there's a post mill on the top of there. I believe it's the oldest post mill in Derbyshire. It's actually called the Captain Fiddle. It's privately owned now. It was built in 1788. Well, it's raining. We're going across a muddy field. What possibly could go wrong? Well, let's have a look. Just a minute, I'm walking like 6-inch steps to stop from slipping over. And odds are, by the time we get to the end of this field, I'll have half the field attached to my boots. But I think I should concentrate for the moment. So see you in a mo when we get to that house down there, that white house. Then we're heading straight up that way. On the other side of them hills is Hotwell Hall. Well, I made it in one piece. Didn't fall over once, although I do have quite a lot of the field on me. Actually, the hardest bit was getting over that stile there. Because obviously there's no grip on the stile and my boots are covered in mud. I was slipping all over the place. I'll show you how bad my boots are. Not that clear to see, but you can just see along that top there's a load of deer walking across the track. That's part of it's part of the Mitchell's Way. It's quite a big herd actually, looking at it. must have at least 20 to 30 have passed me. Well, seen sheep, now I've seen llamas, 3 of them. They're the ones that spit, so I ain't going to get too close to them. Hello. Enjoying yourselves in there. There's some more there. There's like 4 or 5 more there. So I go close when you get before they run off. Now the thing is, we are at Hotwell Hall. The problem being is that I thought we were actually closer to it than this. We get closer to it than this. I think this path at the back goes round it, but we've got 4 llamas here. And actually the lights and building at the back is Hotwell Hall. Now Hotwell Hall has also got a little bit of history to it. Now it's a private residence, but at one point it was a special school for boys until 1957 when it burnt down. And after that it was rebuilt, and it is the house we see today. Anyway, we're going to head down here a little bit. It's getting dark now. Still got probably 2/3 of a mile to go. We're just going to go around this corner. We're at, this place is called I don't know who jumped the most, him or me. So this is called Constitutional Hill. And we'll just walk around the corner in a minute. And there's actually a famous plate found that dates back thousands of years. It was actually found about 200-300 years ago. We'll go down to it and there's a placard with it on, so we'll go down to it. This is called the Risley Lanx. Now, it looks something like that originally. The Risley Lanx actually dates back to the 4th century. It's the earliest recorded find of Roman silver in Britain and one of the country's oldest Christian treasures. In 1729 it was. A farm worker was ploughing his field, just down there. And when he came across something a bit metal. So when he came across it, he actually dug it up and thought out, well, it looks like it's worth a few bob or two. So anyway, he told the lady of the manor, which was Lady Aston, and also another farmer. Although rather than sort of keep it to himself, he could have made a lot of money out of that. But by the time the lady of the manor and the other farmer, the lady of the manor took most of the money out of it. He actually got a pittance away from it. But actually, it is a famous piece. I think it's in the British Museum now. We got dark very fast. I haven't even walked down this field yet. So we're just coming back into Risley now, and that's towards the end of this walk. Now the only problem is with this camera is that if I put the light on, so you can actually see a little bit of thing, I have to turn image stabilisation off. Bit weird, but you know. I'm just passing Rizzley Church. So this is the All Saints Church of Risley. Well, all of a sudden I got great light. Well, I'm actually in a bus stop. It's got light above me. So I'm going to say cheerio for here, because this is the end of this walk. We're on a busy road, so obviously there's going to be a car coming across here at any second now. So with that, hopefully you've had a good, hopefully you've enjoyed this walk, and you look forward to the next one. And if you have enjoyed it, then you know what to do. Click the like and share it with others, and feel free to make a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do. So until next time, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, hikers.